Hello everyone and welcome back. So in the previous video, we saw how to get yourself started, how to open a Colab notebook into your Google Drive, and how to move the Master80 package as well as the test drive into your Colab notebook. And in this video, we're going to be going our test drive more specifically on the what is Python sections, how to add text or code, what every Colab document should start with, and what can Python do. So what is Python? Python is an object-oriented programming language. What this means is just that Python thinks about classes and objects, groups and things respectively. So a class is a group and an object is a thing. Objects or things inherit certain attributes and methods are just actions that those things can perform. So a little example would be like if I was an object called Josepas, I do belong to a class called humans. So because I'm an object called Josepas and because I belong to a class humans, I inherited certain things. So I inherited hair color, eye colors, height, age, etc. So that's basically what an object is. Now, that object could contain certain methods or actions. So in this case, this object can also read and write. So if I want an object to perform an action, I first call the object, then I use a little period, and then I call an action or a method. That line of code will execute that object to do certain action. So in this case, if I tell Josepas.read, then Josepas will perform the action to read. So you might be wondering, why is this important, or why do we use this type of syntax? Well, later on, you'll see that in certain problems, mainly differential equations, this syntax might actually be extremely useful for us. So do remember that like the object idea and what the period means. That just means execute the next thing. So call object dot execute an action. So to add a text cell or code cell into Colab, we just hover over the previous text cell or code cell, and we will see this plus code and this plus text. You can add these by just clicking on the cells and it will add them respectively. So in this case, it would be a text cell. This is a code cell. So to delete them, just go to the trash can, and to edit them, just double click on them. Oops, there we go. So to delete them, you just click on the little trash can. Now, your documents should always begin with these 8 lines. Ignore the green lines. Those are just comments that you can read. But these 8 lines are extremely important. So the first 3 actually allows Python to do more complicated computations. And more specifically, it allows Python to do algebra and trigonometry. This 4 lines make a link between your Google Drive and your Colab notebooks. So basically, anytime you make any edits in Colab, it will immediately go into your Colab notebooks if it contains this 4 lines. Lastly, the import Math280, and perhaps one of the most important things, is this little line allows you to do differential equations. It acts similar to how from SymPy and import NumPy and import Matplotlib work. Basically, these are libraries that contain a lot of commands. Math280 is also a library that contains commands, and these commands could be called to perform certain actions. So in this case, to run it, we just click on the play button, and we'll see something that will pop up in a bit. So this is the first thing that you're going to get. It's just a permission for Colab to access those that Google Drive. Just connect to the Google Drive, select your Gmail, and click on Allow. After it runs, it should have a little check mark. If it shows an error, that's probably because the Master80 package is not properly set up. So make sure you go back to the previous video and see how to set that up properly. This might take a while. There we go. So as soon as we get the little check mark, that just means that it ran the cell and the action has been completed. So like I said, Python can do other things, but naturally it can do arithmetic. So it follows PEMDAS. And yeah, so you can do certain arithmetic, simple arithmetic. So for 2 + 2, 3 times 6. When it comes to fractions and division, it does something very interesting. It actually computes the division. So in this case, it computed 0.5, 1/2 = 0.5. And if we click on 1/3, it actually gives us the float 0.3. So why does that happen? Well, Python sees the divisions or fractions as numbers to be divided. So it sees the 1 and it actually computes the 1 divided by 2. It doesn't see it as a symbol, as a fraction. So later on, we'll see how to keep them as fractions instead of Python returning them as floats. So just do keep that in mind. So yeah, this is the first part out of a series of videos on the test drive. So I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.